My name is Christopher Peter. The Philadelphia Eagles continue to show resiliency and resolve that allows them to compete regardless of the situation. The team that many people thought would give them trouble did exactly that for the first half, but the Eagles showed the ability to adapt and flip the script on the Rams. Like everyone else, I knew the Eagles would need to open up the offense a bit more to beat the Rams. Unlike the Chiefs, the Rams have two wideouts that can do damage if a team is not able to keep up on the scoreboard. Unlike the Cowboys, the Rams are well coached and usually execute when it matters most. Last season, the Rams were the only team in the playoffs that played the Eagles close. If not for Jalen Carter, the Eagles might not have won that game. But, the Eagles found a way to win then and continue to find a way to win now. My thoughts at first was maybe they were being overly conservative because of preseason injuries to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But it seems like it may be a combination of play calling and a bit too much cautious play, which is not a bad thing. In the second half, the Eagles were able to turn the offense loose and responded. Finally, you saw the Eagles' offense play like we hoped they would. Saw them move the ball at will and remind us of last season to some degree. We're going to need to be able to pass when our opponents stack the box to prevent the run, and run when they cover to protect against our star wideouts. The Eagles are at their best when they are able to adjust in game, but the run is a staple to build around. The win against the Rams is our best win so far this season. The Cowboys are obviously a flawed team and beatable. The Chiefs were missing too many players and were still plagued by the loss in February, but the Rams were 2-0. Next week, the Eagles face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. The Bucs have had our number for some reason. Their victory just before our winning streak changed how we approached our games after the bye week. Keep in mind most of our offense did not play that game. The Eagles are showing a level of resiliency that is impressive, a never-quit mentality that allows them to find a way to win. We're going to face a team that also has that same mentality, opening the season with 3 straight comeback victories in their own right, but they will not have Mike Evans. We will have Brown and Smitty this time around along with Saquon. Let us use our offensive weapons and keep that Bulls defense on their toes. Hopefully Lane Johnson plays or Fred Johnson starts in his place. We have to control their pressures, which Bulls likes to do against the Eagles, and ideally start having those long game-draining drives that leave no opportunities for our opponents. 3-0 is a great place to be for my Eagles, and 4-0 will be even better. Either way, I still believe this is a team that will grow and improve each and every week. The Miami Dolphins look like a team that will be parting with their head coach, general manager, and key players in the offseason, as a rebuild is probably going to take place. While they showed some signs of life against the Buffalo Bills to open Week 3, the continuation of the status quo is not going to yield positive results. On the other hand, the Bills just keep checking off the boxes and beating the teams they need to. Sure, the 3 teams they have faced this year have a combined win total of a whole 1 game, but they can only play the schedule provided to them and they are playing good football, and not playing down to their opponents. The Kansas City Chiefs picked up their first win of the season against the rebuilding New York Giants in MetLife, still without their 2 starting wide receivers, one due to suspension, and the other by injury from a collision with a teammate. The Chiefs were able to go on the road and win a game against the only team they have faced so far without a win. These are the games that can be used to reset your season. On the other side of the field, it is getting closer to the point where you need to appease the fans and see what you have in the young Jackson Dart. At this point, Russell Wilson is going to be a journeyman quarterback that prepares future passers for their time. He is not playing well enough to delay the inevitable. Former Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz led a dominant performance in the battle of the backups against the Cincinnati Bengals, who will be without Joe Burrow for some time. The Minnesota Vikings dominated the Bengals in Minneapolis with a 38-point margin. The Bengals spent a lot of money but lost their biggest asset that makes the whole thing work. The San Francisco 49ers are showing that maybe Mac Jones would have been a good fit for them, as they have won his 2nd straight start and their 3rd straight game. The Niners are experiencing injuries themselves, losing star pass rusher Nick Bosa for the season. Brock Purdy will be back at some point. How about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys went into Chicago and gave Ben Johnson his first win of his head coaching career. The Cowboys did not score in the second half and left the game without their star wideout in C.D. Lamb. A poor defensive effort from the Cowboys as they will face their star castaway whose team did not fare any better this weekend. The Green Bay Packers spoke way too early about going undefeated before the Cleveland Browns gave them a humbling wake-up call. It was a close game, but the Packers were not able to find a way to win. And the Browns prevailed after blocking the Packers' field goal attempt and scoring one of their own with time expiring. The NFL is exciting because there are no guaranteed victories or losses. The Carolina Panthers were probably viewed as more likely to be shut out than being able to shut out a playoff contender. But that is what they did this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. There are no cupcakes on your schedule and you have to give every opponent respect. The Washington Commanders got back in the win column this week with a big win against the Raiders at home. Marcus Mariota filled in for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders scored the highest point total so far. The Raiders are still looking for that first win with their new head coach and quarterback, but keep getting the same result. The Colts are playing good football with Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback, a New York Giants cast-off. The Colts have punted one this season and have dominated their schedule so far. Another set of teams with a combined win total of 1 so far. But Jones has steadied his career, showing that a change of scenery can be refreshing. The Jacksonville Jaguars handed the Houston Texans their third straight loss to start the year, but the Texans have faced 3 teams with winning records to this point. They just need to find a way to play better in big moments. They have a chance to right their ship with a divisional game against the Tennessee Titans, who are a struggle bunny in themselves. The Pittsburgh Steelers got back on track by going into Foxborough and beating the New England Patriots in a high-turnover game for the Pats. The Steelers are built for a potential run for this year before they need to come up with a long-term quarterback plan. The Patriots are in a rebuild. Not surprised with the result. The New York Jets are still winless. To this point in the season, the football teams representing New York that play in northern New Jersey have yet to win a game, one in changing quarterbacks. The other saw their head coach dancing before experiencing another Baker game-winning drive. New team, same results. The Chargers continue to win against their division. Beat the Chiefs, then the Raiders, and now the Broncos. The football teams representing Los Angeles and playing in Los Angeles are a combined 5-1. The Chargers have positioned themselves well to win the division. They head to New York to play Jackson Dart and the Giants. Finally, the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens met in Baltimore in a high-power matchup of 2 explosive offenses complemented with stingy defenses. The Lions have found their mojo as they were pretty dominant in this high-scoring game. The Ravens had their moments, but the Lions controlled the game. And then they forced Derrick Henry to fumble the ball in his 3rd consecutive game. The Ravens did play well in the beginning, but they simply lost control in the end. This week was defined by comebacks. My Eagles erased a 19-point lead to win with a field goal block that was returned by a 336-pound defensive tackle for a touchdown. The Bucs always need a comeback. The Chiefs came back to the land of the winning. The Detroit Lions are trending upwards after that win in Baltimore. The Ravens being 1-2 kind of diminishes the wins for both the Lions and Bills. But the Lions have been remarkably better than Week 1 and appear all the way back. The Colts are trending up with their dominant performances to start the year, against a slate of teams with a combined total of 1 win. But they have only punted once so far and they are finally seeing their potential realized. Last year was disappointing for the Colts, but they are now playing well. The Buffalo Bills, my Philadelphia Eagles, and the Los Angeles Chargers are all static on the top. All are undefeated and playing well. Not many concerns after Week 3. Each can make a case for top spot on to contention. The Ravens are trending downwards, 1-2. Not many people thought this team would be less than undefeated to this point. Fumbles are taking place every game. They are unable to play their best at the end of games. They could be 1-3 after facing the Chiefs. The Cowboys are trending down. They lost a close game Week 1 and seem to be a playoff team. They have not looked that way since. Their defense looks problematic, and they will more likely than not be 1-3 when Micah Parsons and the Packers next week. I have gone 4-1 with my picks in both Week 1 and 2. Here are my 5 picks this week. The Baltimore Ravens head into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Ravens are the better roster, but the Chiefs play well against the Ravens. The Chiefs' defense has played well for the most part this season and may be able to force another fumble, but Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry need to make a statement and really do not want to lose their 3rd game against another playoff contender. I will go with the Chiefs at home. The Packers dropped a game after some players projected an undefeated season. Now they head to Big D for a reunion for Micah Parsons with the Cowboys. The Packers are a better team, have an up-and-coming quarterback. Doc will not have his top weapon this week, so it may be easy for Micah to make a statement. Packers by 10. The undefeated Indianapolis Colts, who have only punted once, take on the Los Angeles Rams, who just took their first loss. The Colts are playing well, but so are the Rams. They will be back in Hollywood looking to redeem themselves, and I think this will show if the Colts are for real. I think they are not, so I will pick the Rams. The NFC West matchup with the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams played the Niners close only to lose and both easily defeated New Orleans. I will pick the Seahawks to win close on Thursday. The loss of James Conner for the year may impact the Cardinals' offense, but it is a next man up league. Finally, I try to avoid picking the game my Eagles play, but it is a close matchup. The Bucs have the Eagles number in Tampa as of late, last year and the last 2 playoff matchups in the pirate ship. So I am not really comfortable, considering the team is hard to put down. But the Eagles are a different team and are fully healthy this time around. I will pick my Eagles to win a close one in what is expected to be played in the extreme Florida heat. So, this week I am taking my Eagles, the Rams, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks.
For the first time this season, the Eagles fans had to let out the Boo Birds for a little bit. The Eagles only were able to gain less than 50 yards in the first half and let the team know that they are better than what is being put out on the field. Eagles fans are passionately loyal and we love our team. In any relationship, there is a need to be honest when one side is not living up to their potential. Once they did, you saw the love showered on our birds. Philly backs our team. We were not the only team showing our emotion this weekend, but ours was positive feedback. The New York Giants fans were tired of their team spitting on their feet and telling them it is raining. They want change and do not like the direction the organization is going. They will get the change they are demanding this week. At least from a lineup perspective. It may not change the outcome. Especially against the opponent in the Los Angeles Chargers, who are clearly playing good football and are on a path to win their division. Giants fans must be concerned at how past players are thriving elsewhere. Their star wideout claimed it is not the quarterback when the team released Daniel Jones, who may contend for the league's MVP if he keeps up his level of play. When fans let their emotions out, we should not pass it off as drunken or rowdy behavior. Fans are voicing their opinion. Teams that embrace that accountability do well. Some hide from it. But the fans have the right to make their opinion known. Thank you for experiencing this episode of the Christopher Peter Podcast, part of the Christopher Peter Podcast. Your viewership is appreciated and valued. Please follow the Christopher Peter Review on social media and continue to visit www.crcreview.com for new episodes of the Christopher Peter Podcast and the CRC. Thank you once again. Until next time.